Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge. A metallic drawer slides out from under this.
Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case.
He's clearly a little protective of his tools. But what can you do? Work is work. The handles are long and sleek. Snap, snap, go the cutters in your hand. The pry bar feels nice and cold and you're useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids. It's robust, weatherproof, and well-made. Lets you see things in the dark. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. Preheater gauge casts a warm glow on the steering levers and the radio on its hook. The white suede feels luxurious under the touch, and the metal clutch handle so very familiar in your palm. As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled. It's in the large orange set.
There's no use pressing the heat button. It won't.
Translation. Alternative translation. Don't even think you can drive my MC.
I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer. Feel like a traveler.
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
From another planet.
It's the jam, my man. It's a traffic jam for the ages. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout. Yeah, imagine.
Behind the laugh, however.
So tell me, what do you need? He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for.
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff. The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Oh, high-grade narcotics.
Time to arrest him.
Can't even get a few jokes past you, my man. I've got another haul. They usually get shipped to Grodd in the Occident, though we've been making headway in the Ilmaran market lately. We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy. This rockin' beauty sure is like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery? Neat. For carrying large quantities of cargo a long distance.
There it is again. A little touch of sadness beneath his cool. He thinks.
Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm. In his eyes, an unfamiliar longing, flecks of brown and gold. It's hard to say. His gaze wanders southwest, down the street that goes.
Excuse me? Man, I don't know what to say. I miss my family. They're all I have. My wife, second kid on the way. Waiting all the way in Diora of the Seven Seas. It's on the other end of Le Caillou, pretty much. What's it like? Good. And bad. An ache that brings you joy. I think of them a lot. What about you, cop?
Is that what it is? This feeling? No. It's scarier than that. You're pursued by a hunter, smelling of apricots and sorrow, and the past.
I feel for you, my friend. It's bad enough to know who you miss. But thanks for this. It's nice to talk to someone, and I know it wasn't easy to ask. I hope you find your way through your own troubles. Don't be a stranger.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece. A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III." Not a good track record of mental health in that family. What did he do? You have no idea what he... High above you, the king stands triumphantly The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her right. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter, some cigarettes, and food money. No response. Wherever this woman is, your words, nothing. Her smile just keeps widening.
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone. Why?
Bastards! We have a right to work! Hold up and stay frosty, everyone.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down. We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have good. Fighting for... Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence. Maybe you should ask them. We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
So do we, Scott.
Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. Trying to meet their fat boss. I know nothing about her.
The mention of the killing sends a barely noticeable shiver of tenseness through.
What are you talking about?
Yes, he's tense.
Right to work!
It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. Should bring backup, open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
Why not? I see pity.
Let us work!
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can beats me, they mumble nonsense about it.
When the man moves around, You perceive some serious abs underneath his tight fitting shirt. There's something odd in the way he carries himself. His set of clothing looks vaguely mismatched. The different pieces of the attire seem ill-fitting. Fine. It was probably
Honest men and women with rights, work, to be useful. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis.
I have a question. Why do all...
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No.
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him.
What's it to you? No. Don't think we've met before. I came to help out. We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain. Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill. Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell? Uh-huh. It's a long time. We were promised work. We'd be in there, working. If the bastard main gate's locked, take heavy. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measure. Or whatever he is. Why don't you go arrest them instead?
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went on.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk.
Scab? I was just messing with you. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then, speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the Wild North? Come to see the strife? Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. Of course, Policia.
Should we? He didn't do it. It's the truth.
My friend, I respect the right to roam. The open range away. I don't operate in that capacity. What? Yeah, the 2.5 meter tall Semini Suprema. Then press the button, then go past him again, and you enter the arbor through the office. Stop.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffled.
You know,
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on it.
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with? We don't see a lot of police. Of course. What can I help you with? Sure, I'm done with it. Go easy on that stuff. It gave me a terrible head. Of course. Where to? What do you mean? Yes, sir.
He knows where we are. He just wants directions.
There's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, the harbor gates. Some shop, just coast. It's just water. No, actually, I think they call it the Martinez. No problem. Of course.
Her gloves. You get the feeling that you need them. You have a dead body.
Sure, keep them. I have another pair.
betrays your
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Don't say anything. Size him up first.
Are you admiring my muscles? It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Sandwich. You are not in danger. That is precisely the negligence. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company. No, you don't. You need to get another drink.
Show him the ham still got it.
Jerking motions. Signs of a late-stage neurodegenerative disorder. How far? You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicable. You will be
It is, baby.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor.
That is right. You should leave this stage of bring your troops to the city walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the oaths to homosexuality. Don't be vulgar.
There must be some friction there. He's keeping it well hidden, however.
Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. Of course you are, Revacholian man. The failure of community above all. Rampant multinational finance still reigning large. Tell me, where have you gotten your love of pathetic communism from? Degenerate youth culture? Stop explaining yourself. No one cares about your beliefs. The conversation has offshoots of the Seminese people invented disco while having sex. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminese. We are the future. I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulumbuir are... No.
He would be appreciative if you did not further chase this line of inquiry in front of the women.
Yes.
This could have made him more open to discussing the race enigma with you. Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Do you?
The lieutenant looks toward the harbors.
You are obviously a liberal, Sayolite. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your life. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of... I knew you would go straight for the vile cauldron.
Yeah, I mean, other...
Yes, it would seem nonsensical.
Those are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals. excluding a receding genetic pool has led the Mound on reprehensible street parades in Mound cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet. The Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the other large mondial civilization, the mass overproduction of sebum. Sebum, as proven by the Mound and the Mesk, Occidental type A is in retrograde. The Semenese and the Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Semenese are powerful. Mesomo, the latter, is perfected and adapting. Together they...
Nature was not capable of more.
Type B are the unheroic races. More to an untrained eye, the Koiko appear white and pinkish. Like pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advance. The Koiko, the countless micronationalities au grade, are the Revacholians, halfway between type A.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening, but that seems a little off.
The revolution came to Ravachol from Gra. The revolution is fatal for me. Enough of type B mediocrity. Types CF are a museum of fame. Lesser races like the mosquito. The mosquito is born sterile, like a donkey. Oh, then there is the Simino Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know? The Koiko, as you know, are very servile. This will never happen. The Simonese and the Koiko may, but enough. It is cruel to entertain ourselves with the deformed. You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. This clarity does not come in. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Vacholian. Your love for disco...
I don't think anything about
your pedomorphic friend, Rassi. I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the drop correct.
Welcome to Frit. Feel free to look around or something.
What's that magazine she's reading?
You mean this? This is Pop Stars. It's got, like, famous people in it.
Looks like it also has something called Police de la Mode, featured on page 34. This speaks to you.
It's where they rate different outfits famous people wear. It's kind of funny. They're kind of mean. It's about who's the most stylish.
We are not the fashion police. We're the...
I don't know. Frit? A 7 to 11 I think they think that the extra team... okay. I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there. Not really. No. I don't know, really.
No need to worry. It's just standard procedure for us to ask around.
Okay. Uh-huh.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, "Whirling in Rags." This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, "Whirling in Rags." This trash container is locked. The sliding...
Welcome to Revachol.
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3000... Every school of thought and government has failed in the city. But I love it not. It's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this...
Oh, come on, man.
I know exactly what you meant. But you see, I'm an officer...
Silence. Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
You two make a cute...
The lieutenant exhales.
Whatever you say.
You could ask him to show you the soles of his boots. He definitely looks like someone capable of a lynching. Maybe he was present.
Been admiring the stompers, huh?
On the bottom of the man's boots, you see an intricate tangle of treads with no immediately discernible pattern.
It's Revachol. Custom made. For when the invasion...
It doesn't look like the lieutenant cares. He just makes a little note.
No, it's not like that. You don't get it. Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on apples. Yeah.
He's given you the runaround. Let's be honest, you were bested.
It's about not the most popular topic nowadays, with a coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep. I'm not just racist. Look, people who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be. So, lately we Occidentals have experienced an unfortunate downturn when the problem? The damn kips are showing a real good game lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other introduced species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory. It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? Don't push your luck, Runt.
It's raining again. It was clear just an hour ago.
The worn and beaten wooden...
We can sit on benches.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to.
I have really how...
Yes, that's what...
René. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day? Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, really. Of course, officer. I mean, I'm sorry, officer, but I really don't...
The only one you have.
Believe me, officer. I wish I could help you, but...
You can barely hear him. The sweet smell of pickles in harmony with garlic butter and marinated onions emanating from the sandwich is drive...
Fuck off! It's my... Sorry, officer. I'm...
When the dissidents come to rape our country, he hides. But try to get a bite of his dear sandwich and he gets... We are still waiting for a replacement for the bull you sent sinking.
The sight of bullet holes stirs something in you, making you... The faded marks are too degraded to draw any...
Where? There? Those are old. These bullets were fired during the revolution. Overhead, not much. I don't have a fresh...
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Hey, what's that noise down there?
sturdy metal door. The door rattles.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers in. The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No. Go check the
backyard door. There must be another entrance to the east. A striking woman leans against the cabin top.
Good afternoon, officers. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCA. I'm glad to see you here.
Like steel, there is strength.
I was dispatched to handle a
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines Group. What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant. The Pines' core competency is logistics. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil, and... I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet.
$1 billion?
$20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through... You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners? Who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo? There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system...
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator.
And how are the talks?
They're not. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. Oh, so you've met him?
My colleague has his peculiar...
Of course. To each their own. Let's say...
And when did...
I arrived 3...
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr.
This isn't the first time.
Heavens, no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive. There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. Every worker, a member of the board. Then you might also like their other slogan. Demand democracy. Personally, I don't think it has the same pizzazzo as every worker a member of the board. It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines Group makes a decision about, just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. They're having a blast. But how can they... I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position. A hard... And now, people are getting lynched.
Excuse me. From whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work.
This checks out.
The scabs? You mean if they were organized by Wildpines?
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Mr. Clare told... Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Keep in mind, this is an...
Sounds like usual aggressive posturing.
Everard? Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows... The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chap...
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company... And your opinion, detective, if I may ask. I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is... Indeed. And a hungry one. Sadly, Wildpines have cooperated with what amounts... I'm glad you asked. There was a woman...
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Downright haunting, if you ask me. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things...
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help? Quite a few things. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have...
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced her. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge.
How curious. Why is that?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? Oh dear. I do believe you, naive as that may sound.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very...
Of course, I sympathize. But I'm afraid I simply can't share...
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Of course, the situation is extremely volatile. Of course. You're back. Good. What can I help you with? I'm afraid I can't say any more until we've taken care of formal protocol.
She's a negotiator. Just float a favor as her.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify...
You're in, but expect...
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's the hub for the local drug trade.
They're profiting from this.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Or, you can recover your badge.
Detective, a word in private before we continue. This is not going quite as I hoped it would. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her hand. This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or...
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months. No, If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done. I'm sure you will, Detective.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Is what you want to say, but look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub. A well-kempt, yet tastefully short bob of dark hair. Despite the first hints of grey, she's positively statued, while dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes. Red, these are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say, now look at you, you misery-clad simian. Barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. You're poor. Poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too... Yes. You're too ashamed to ask this person. Oh God.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask. It's quite straightforward. Someone is using
ingredients,
meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, unlikely, officer. I'm talking about the lorries. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you. The two.
Or not. Though...
As eager as I am to share it, yes? Excellent. According to... It may come to... In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of... Why, yes I am. The boat?
The word, it, feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Okay. How about Cordeleche 19? Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordeleche, and its hull is 19 paces long. The X something. The X what? Very absurd. Thank you for the suggestion. I will stick with the factory name for now, but it's a pleasure craft. My sloop?
I'm enjoying...
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman.
Officer,
The crowns of her teeth, her nonchalance, might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act. A law that says she doesn't need a license.
Good.
Voila, you're doing it.
Of course. How much do you need?
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow knows more about your predicament than she's letting on?
That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
She removes a few notes and hands them to you. Whoa, whoa! Did you see how easy that was? Ask her for more. Can you eat honor? Are you an omnivore? Give me a break.
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
You're right, man, that donations are permitted under the emergency...
Which he most certainly will do. Now...
There must be another way into the building.
sir. Step right in. The store is open. I know, sir. Are you interested in a new and exciting book? Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any... My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. Feel free to step in and browse our wares. I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might...
A sudden gush of wind turns the pages of the books on the counters. She covers her face, smiling. But she's cold.
Oh, no, sir. I'm happy to help Mum by luring in customers. Besides, I have some hot juice in my vacuum bottle to keep warm. I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running. Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character.
There is stress and unease behind.
Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first.
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second, and some kind of doubt in her tint.
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go... Exactly, but we've been doing fine so far. They shouldn't be, but they seem real. Anyhow, they say that these grounds are doomed for businesses. Of course, sir. Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals. And it's kind of like a puzzle too. You don't look much like a policeman. Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen. Head? Yeah.
No, it's your soul. Your blue soul.
I'm not sure I understand. If you say so, sir. He's just a fictional character. He's no match for your soul. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books. It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the... Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir. These are not very common. You can't have a choice between well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either. That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life. Not in romance books, sir. These are about nice and pretty. It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process. Those are unhappy books for most of the pages. People sad about what they have lost. I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mum. I'm sure she can help out. Maybe some about other books? No, sir, I can't. It would be too tiring to refrain from it. It's already tiring enough to remember to say it all the time. It's nice of you to say I could stop, though. That's a friendly enough face, most of the time. Oh, kings and queens and generals. I think that's why people...
Seems like most people who read those books fail to get more famous from reading them.
But it does make the famous people more famous. Why would they do that, sir? That's so cool. Maybe they'll make you a book cover picture and everything. Standing over a dead body, holding a gun.
The girl keeps her hand.
What do you mean?
She knows where this is going. looks around anxiously. The lieutenant stands by, a facade of true professionalism. He is far more intrigued by the situation. She brings out her reddened hands.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded? Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do it.
She actually is impressed. This is more like a defensive reflex. She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't. It was okay, sir.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
You're quite sober.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
I'm sorry, sir.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar, somehow. Because you know each other. She's been talking to you so openly because you've talked before.
Yes, I stand in this spot. You've been running around all week without your shirt on, sir. Telling people about being a star or something. Of course, you stopped by a few times. You certainly look better than the last time I saw you. Yeah, I can see. You don't...
Party eyes. Yes, of course.
I'm not surprised children have seen you running around with...
You know, like a cat in the dark. All big and wide.
The swiveling eyes of a loony drug addict. Fuck yeah. You should get some party eyes right now. Snap those sequins on you, boy. Oh, baby, that's not what you have to worry about. Worry about the important thing.
I didn't know I had to do that. I'm glad I could help you, sir.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making, from a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit. Yeah, you have. You're a big dick cop, Dick Mullen, Salem Rocky Baye, badass on-the-edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera. With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you. An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center. Silence. No one answers your call. An old call box, an off-key.
Kudo, please stop calling here. Grown-ups don't have time for your stupid... Oh, I'm sorry, officer, but the doorbell is broken and the book's...
A single beep. You ring. What an ominous name. All you hear is static. You ring the doorbell. You wait. For a minute. Looks like someone has melted half the plastic off with a lighter. The doorbell doesn't work. You hear static from the intercom speak.
Have you come to play...
She sounds almost antique, as if her voice was being played off an old wax cylinder. A receiver must not be... The lieutenant. It's a woman. No, something's wrong here. Are you sure she's talking to you?
Michelle, just why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone.
A spot of static overrides.
It's so nice.
She sounds like She's about to cry. She doesn't answer. Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore on another seagull.
It must have been some kind of faulty wiring.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call. 12 name cards on the call. Nothing happens after you ring the doorbell. Silence. No one's silence. No one answers the doorbell. Whatever she says, it can't hurt you. All right. Maybe not healthier. There's a light buzz as...
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric. Have you come to place an order?
Here come the bad vibes again. Relax. Wait. Is she...
Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't...
The voice from the intercom doesn't answer, but you can hear her breathing. Wind blows. And then she tries again not to cry. Real or not, your mirror neurons react. It feels painful to be listening to this. Her sound melts into the... This is where you hung up the call. The phone rings in the office with an no one reply. Her words are too cold to comprehend.
So, it was a recording trapped in the circuitry from some ancient tenant. This sometimes happens. Shall we conclude here? We have other mysteries to solve.
That is true. A thin man is smoking below. As you step in, it must be his name. Goranci. Goranci Quebec. The man puts his cup down and replies something. He smiles, and it's almost like music, especially with the sound. The man ponders his cooking. You see a heavy still. You immediately feel drawn to the color. Blue is for mystery. The door does not.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads? Yes. I suppose it's worth seeing if we can get in. Just to be thorough. As a side investigation. Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
Hello again, sweetie.
The lieutenant. Wait. Who's Sweetie?
You're a handsome man, officer, with your... But dear, you're not for me.
In another time and place, she might have flirted.
You must forgive me. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I...
This Lena is wacky enough for the Motley Crew. Hire her on the spot.
Whatever do you mean? Yes. Probably Roll With Me by the Fletchers. People often quote the Yes, officer. You look...
She won't judge you, no matter what you say.
Oh my. You know where we are, right? That's right. In a hostel called the Whirling in Rags, to be precise. How would I even begin to tell you? I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes? That's right, dear. How splendid. Here.
Her relief is palpable.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government? Nope, sadly not. Revachol is what's called a zone of control, under an alliance of foreign power. Oh dear. And you were doing so well. There aren't any cops, but we should stop for today, sweet.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't. It has something to do with it.
I'm just a poor woman, she thinks. What the...
You were doing quite well up until the end, dear.
A sigh.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes.
She means this sincerely. Worrying won't do you any good.
Someone?
No.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Of course.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. Cop habit. This isn't case-related. Hard to say. Your vision is blurred and you're having... An inconspicuous pile of the roof. There are clothes.
Don't be shy. These are premium class.
You find your hands deep in
Economical, but also trendy. Look firsthand. 5 cents.
something.
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's only $4.50 for you, sir. Gotta prepare for springtime, right?
This panel usually closes the wall. You pull the lever all the way. Nothing happens. A spring brings the lever back. Isn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday? Nothing happened. A spring brings... Isn't there a sign?
G'day to you, officers.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami.
I wasn't here to witness it.
The words, dear.
Too bad it also takes a year and it's supposed to operate the water. Safety, man. It'll be restarted on Wednesday. Great!
The coast part of the map is inaccessible until the 3rd day.
Well, yeah, not really much else. Sure thing. Want some
Why not?
You see rows of try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back. Why? What's this?
Oh, that's the headless 50 cents. Bargain price. Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky?
Yes, this sounds off. Big men on big
Frank and Jerry.
A long, long time ago. They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange
This is what the
Which ones? Ah.
This set of soldiers.
You're probably... I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you play... Maybe.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps. The light pole. This would make quite a statement in your living room.
700 real. A bargain, I dare say. Hey, I don't know where it came from, but it's not every... It was...
We are not... You have to admit it's rather clever, what he's done with it.
Yes, officer.
His manner is casual. The boomboxes on the shelf. Look, one especially catches your eye. This is you. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Is the Harman Welshie W2. Made in Vespa. Designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel format. And here you are. It's not a... What can...
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
I have...
Who are you?
Oh, come. As you can see, I have a wide selection.
Entertained. He might be high. If he is, on what?
Of course. It's in work. Let me have a look. Another time, perhaps. Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question.
The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as if truth be told.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the city's...
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
You're right that she could cast aspersions on the Force. We have to find her.
We've Kim here too.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer, and I don't like...
He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you.
You weren't quiet. You were very distraught. When I said that I don't...
Very normal behavior. You must have been in great shape.
No apologies necessary, officer. Of course.
Okay, a guarded man like him wouldn't tell you if you asked out loud.
Sure thing. My apologies, officer.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now.
Sure, man.
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know. Yes. Guess what's yours? That is only a ludicrous daydream. Guess again. You're the... No, you're the sorry cop. Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here. What? Jealous of the... They'll be super fine. It'll be totally okay. You can dual copo type from sorry. No, you don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Stop. Wow. Okay.